Bonjour tout le monde et bienvenue sur IFC, Irwin's French Class. Aujourd'hui, today, dans cette vidéo, in this video, nous allons apprendre des expressions et des phrases clés, some key expressions and key phrases pour se présenter, to introduce yourself. So at the end of this 10 minutes tutorial, you will be able to greet someone appropriately and introduce yourself in French. And at the end of this video, we are going to do some fun activities to revise and practice. So, c'est parti! Like in most cultures, there are two kinds of context in which one can be involved: the formal and the informal context. The way you will greet and interact with people will depend on the context you're in. So let's start with the informal context, which typically includes interaction with family and friends, but also between people of the same age, typically young people. Together, we are going now to cover all the key expressions and key phrases to greet and interact with someone in this context. Alright guys, there are many ways to greet someone in informal context. From the standard way by using bonjour from morning till evening, and then bonsoir. If you really want to go with a more familiar way to greet, you can also use salut or coucou. So let's repeat these expressions. Écoutez et répétez. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Salut. Coucou. When you greet someone in France, you can shake hands or exchange what we called la bise. So if you wonder how many kisses you should do and which cheek you should start with, then no worries, because we do too. The number of kisses depends on the geographic location you're in. So usually in the south of France it goes from 2 to 3, and in the north it's 2 or 4. Whatever the number of kisses you must do, you can always ask for people's habit using these questions. Combien de bises? That's for how many kisses. Tu fais combien de bises? For how many kisses do you do? Or you can also go for on fait combien de bises ici? How many kisses do we do here? Okay, so let's repeat these three questions together. Écoutez et répétez. Combien de bises? Tu fais combien de bises? On fait combien de bises ici? Regardless of the context of interaction, the expression you will use to introduce yourself does not change. To provide your name, either use je m'appelle, par exemple, je m'appelle Irwin, or you can also use je suis Irwin. So je m'appelle will be literally translated as I call myself, and je suis as I am, like in English. Okay? So then you can combine with the expressions of greeting, the greeting expressions we just learned. Bonjour, je m'appelle Irwin. Salut, je suis Irwin. For asking someone's name in an informal context, you will say, Et toi, comment tu t'appelles? But be careful, because there are two other versions of this question. Listen. Et toi, tu t'appelles comment? Et toi, comment tu t'appelles? So don't freak out guys, okay? Because just like in many other languages, you can move words around. The syntax is far from being rigid, okay? So there is no correct or wrong one. You can use either of them. Usually, when the interrogative word, and here in this question is comment, is sent at the end of the question, like in tu t'appelles comment, it's the colloquial form, which means the spoken form. Comment tu t'appelles is considered as being the standard one, with the interrogation word at the start and then subject and verb. Comment tu t'appelles and tu t'appelles comment are probably the two versions that we use the most in spoken French. Comment t'appelles-tu, with the inversion of the verb and the subject, is a more complex structure, so it's considered as being the high standard version. So let's repeat these three questions together, guys. écoutez et répétez. Comment tu t'appelles? Tu t'appelles comment? Comment t'appelles-tu? Excellent. To ask how you are doing, in French, you can simply go for ça va? And the answer is ça va. Écoutez, ça va? Intonation up for question, ça va? And the answer, ça va. So if you wish to go a little bit further and ask for someone's feelings, you may want to use these questions. Simply add comment in front of ça va. Comment ça va? Comment vas-tu can be an alternative. Okay, so let's repeat these. Ça va? Comment ça va? Comment vas-tu? Très bien. Possible answers to these questions can go on a spectrum from very well to not so good. In French, écoutez et répétez. Très bien. Assez bien. Pas mal. Comme ci, comme ça. Pas très bien. And guys, in front of these expressions, you can also use je vais, I'm going. Je vais très bien. Répétez. Je vais assez bien. Je vais pas mal. Je vais comme ci, comme ça. Je vais pas très bien. Well done. For saying goodbye in French, you can use several expressions. The standard one. Au revoir. On répète. Au revoir. Here you can also use salut, which is the informal way, and please note that you can use these words for hi and bye also. It's like the Italian ciao, but be careful, because ciao is only used for bye in French, unlike in Italian. Okay, so let's recap. Au revoir. Salut. Ciao. You can also use the I expressions. So let's cover all of them. You have the translations in brackets, okay? So, écoutez et répétez. À demain. À plus tard. À plus. And the latter one is for see ya, okay? So, it's rather informal, alright? So now in terms of pronunciation, be careful. À plus tard. You see that we don't pronounce the S in this one. And in the shortened version, à plus, we do pronounce the S. So be careful with this. Écoutez et répétez. À plus tard. À plus. À bientôt. À tout à l'heure. À ce soir. Alright, and we have a few also starting with bon or bonne, masculin or féminin, alright, for good. So, écoutez et répétez. Bon week-end. Bonne journée. Bonne soirée. Well done, guys. Alright, guys, now that we have covered the informal greetings, let's review together the formal greetings. So when tu is the marker of informality in French, vous is the marker of formality. So use vous to greet people that you don't know, depending on your age, okay? So tu will still be likely used between young people, but vous surely between two adults. So use vous between colleagues also, with whom you haven't not yet developed a close relationship. So this can be your seniority, for instance. Also use vous for a group of people. Therefore, there are two kinds of vous. The singular vous, which is used in formal context only to address one person, and the plural vous, used for a group of people in both informal and formal context. To address people in formal context, monsieur is used for man and madame for woman. Mademoiselle for unmarried women is less and less used in France. It was banned actually in official documents in 2012. So simply go for bonjour monsieur Bonjour madame. La bise is not really recommended when meeting someone for the first time, especially in a professional context. Handshake is surely the safest way to go. And the three versions of the question for asking someone's names are: Vous vous appelez comment? Comment vous vous appelez? Comment vous appelez-vous? And please note the liaison between vous and the verb, okay, with the the sound. So let's repeat those, okay, together. Écoutez et répétez. Vous vous appelez comment? Comment vous vous appelez? Comment vous appelez-vous? To ask how you are doing in formal context, you can still use the questions that we have learned previously. Comment ça va? Ça va? And the formal version of comment vas-tu is comment allez-vous? Écoutez et répétez. Comment allez-vous? And be careful with the liaison once again here, okay? And here it's a T sound. Comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? And the answers that we've learned for the informal context are also suitable for this context. Je vais très bien, je vais pas mal, je vais assez bien, je vais pas très bien, etc., etc. For goodbye, you can use the expressions covered previously. But do not use salut, alright? Neither ciao, which are informal. So simply go for au revoir, à demain, à bientôt, bon weekend, etc., etc. Alright guys, now that we have covered the greetings for both formal and informal context, let's do some fun and quick activities together to practice and revise. First, we need to get the pronunciation right of the expressions and sentences that we just covered. So listen and repeat after me. Écoutez et répétez. Bonjour. Salut. Bonsoir. Ça va? Comment ça va? Comment vas-tu? Comment allez-vous? Ça va. Je vais très bien. Je vais bien. Pas mal. Comme ci, comme ça. Pas très bien. Comment tu t'appelles? Comment t'appelles-tu? Tu t'appelles comment? Comment vous vous appelez? Comment vous appelez-vous? Vous vous appelez comment? Je m'appelle. Je suis. Au revoir. Ciao. Salut. À bientôt. À plus tard. À plus. Bon week-end. Bonne journée. Well done, guys. For the second activity, you are going to hear sentences and expressions, and you will need to say if they fit in a formal context or an informal context. But be careful, maybe both. Peut-être les deux. Les deux, c'est possible. Donc, formel, informel. Les deux. Let's do it. Comment tu t'appelles? Formel, informel? Informel, très bien. Comment allez-vous? Formel, informel? Formel. Bonjour. So, les deux, right? Salut. Formel, informel, les deux. Les deux. Informel, that's correct. Okay, one more. Je m'appelle Irwin. Is it formal or informal? Les deux, très bien. Comment ça va? Formel, informel? Les deux, très bien. Je vais très bien. Formel, informel? Les deux, excellent. Alright guys, c'est tout pour cette vidéo. That's all for that video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If so, please give it un pouce vers le haut. And please add a comment to interact with me and share your experience. If you've already been in France, for example, did you find the distinction between formal and informal very clear? Was it very different from your own culture? How did you experience the greetings? Have you ever done la bise? I'd like to find out in the comment section. And also feel free to suggest any aspect of the French language you want me to cover. Finally, consider subscribing to watch more videos and support my channel. And do not forget to practice. This is extremely important when learning a language. So rewatch this video as much as you need to practice and get the pronunciation right of the key sentences and expressions to greet and introduce yourself. Ok, au revoir, à bientôt, ciao, à plus.